But then I let that window down, we hit his block and leave him dead. Clay ain't ever heart, little nigga, bitch, you hit the feds. Doing all that talk, little bitch, you heard what I said. Caught him with that pistol, caught him slipping, hit his head. I'm a real Teflon Don, cause when it's time, you know I'm slide.
Alright, man. Jake Paul, Nate Diaz, officially over with. Go ahead and say it now. My prediction was totally wrong. So shout out to Nate Diaz. I predicted Jake Paul to knock out Nate Diaz round 4, I think. And I said if he didn't do it in round 4, it wouldn't go past 6 rounds. And it did. The fight went all 10 rounds. So shout out to Nate Diaz for that. Shout out to my cousin, Elijah, watching the fight with me. He used to be a big Jake Paul fan back in the vlogging days, the 2017 diss track era. He was a big Jake Paul fan. Not really much anymore, but shout out for watching the fight with me. Yeah, but anyway, Jake Paul, Nate Diaz, go all 10 rounds in a boxing match. I said it wouldn't go past 6. The first round, Jake Paul came out swinging, and I think we all got a little scared there. I think we all were thinking the same thing. This could have ended really, really early. Nate Diaz could get knocked out in the first 2 rounds. I mean, this was not going his way at the start of the fight. But then round 3 or 4, Nate Diaz got back into the fight and won that round. It was round 3 or 4. Nate Diaz took complete control over that round and won that round. So then round 5 came, and Jake Paul knocks down Nate Diaz. Actually knocks him down. And this is where, again, everyone was shaking. Everyone was on the edge of their seats, if not out of their seats. You know what I'm saying? Nate Diaz was knocked down by Jake Paul. Everyone's out of their seats. Crowd's going crazy. I'm going crazy. I thought that would be it. Nate Diaz beat the 10 count. Gets back up, but I told my cousin as we were sitting there watching it, Jake Paul is about to flood this one. He's about to come in swinging now. Now that he just landed a knockdown, yeah, he's about to take control and probably win this fight here in the 5th round. So Nate Diaz beats the 10 count. Jake Paul does come in swinging, but he gets through. He gets through the 5th round, on to the 6th, then on to the 7th. I say Nate Diaz, maximum you could give him 3 rounds. Jake Paul won just about every single round. Nate Diaz won the 3rd or the 4th, and maybe 1 or 2 after that. He was landing shots on Jake Paul. Don't let these Jake Paul fans fool you, right, into thinking that Jake Paul wasn't hurt in any way or wasn't being pressured in any way. Nate Diaz exposed a lot of holes in Jake Paul's game. And I've seen a lot of people on Twitter saying Jake Paul did really well in this fight. And that he looked really good in this fight. And he did in some cases. But, man, Nate Diaz exposed a lot of holes, man. KSI or Tommy Fury, I know Tommy Fury's already beaten him, but KSI or Tommy Fury are going to be watching this fight specifically and are going to try and take advantage of those holes no matter who fights Jake Paul next, Tommy Fury or KSI. We all saw KSI laughing on Twitter at Jake Paul, and I was too. Like I said, Jake Paul looked good in moments, but that just wasn't a very good performance by Jake Paul. I mean, you go in there and you lose against Tommy Fury, and you tell everyone on the build-up to this fight with Nate Diaz, this is the best you have been. Completely different fighter. Nate Diaz doesn't stand a chance. Knockout within 5 or 6 rounds. You say all of that just to come out and perform like you did. And like I said, there were moments where Jake Paul looked good, but there were moments where he didn't look good. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul at one point was getting tired. He was gassing out. Now, obviously, he did go all 10 rounds, so fair play to him. Jake's cardio was tested in this fight, and fair play to him. He did make it all 10 rounds, but again, there were moments where he was gassing out. But anyway, at the end of the day, Nate Diaz did better than we expected. Jake Paul showed a lot of holes in his game, but still came out with a W. Came out on top over Nate Diaz, another MMA fighter. He wants the rematch. Jake Paul won unanimous decision, by the way. No knockouts. Jake Paul wants to rematch Nate Diaz in MMA, and I think Nate Diaz wants to do the same. We'll see if it happens. I personally don't think it will, but we'll see. I I think if it does happen, Nate Diaz, well, you know what's going to happen. I don't have to tell you. But anyway, let me know what you think, man. Who do you think wins, KSI or Jake Paul? I'll be honest, after watching this fight, I think KSI stands a lot better chance, man. So yeah, man, let me know. Who do you think wins, KSI or Jake Paul? Who do you think wins, KSI or Tommy Fury? And do you think Jake Paul beats the winner of that? Y'all let me know, man.